Welcome to this video walkthrough of the P2 paper summer 2023. Question 1. So here we got a trapezium rule question. Okay, nothing too difficult about that. The formula's in the formula booklet. Okay, so let's go ahead and work out what H is first. So that's B minus A over N. So B and A, 5 minus 4 over N is the number of strips. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 readings, and that corresponds to 5 strips. So it's 1/5 or 0.2. Now you can also tell this by what it's going up in. So each of these is going up in 0.2. Okay, and that's your value of H. Now the formula from the formula booklet, so we've got here our f of x, and then that's approximately going to be equal to half h brackets y0 plus 2, now y1, y2, y3, we got 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so you've got your first one and your last one outside because they're only once, and then you've got your middle set which will be added up twice, which is why you've got 2 times. And then it's just a matter of substituting into it. So a half times 0.2 times 9.2 plus 2 lots of 8.4556 plus 3.8512 plus 5.0342 plus 7.8297 and then plus the 8.6. Now sometimes the formula booklet or some of the formulas have these two at the start. There's more than, it doesn't matter if you do it that way. I just kind of write them in order. So it's the first and last one and then double the ones in between. And then simply put that into our calculators. And the answer is 6.81414. It says the 3 decimal places, so 6.814. And that's the first 3 marks done. So here we've got a factor theorem question, and since this is a factor, that means that 2x minus 3 equals 0, or x equals 3 over 2. And that is then substituted in, and that will make f of x equal to 0. So f of 302 will equal 0. So 4 times 3 over 2 squared minus 8 times 3 over 2, sorry, this is cubed, this one's squared, plus 5 times 3 over 2 plus a equals 0. So that's 27 over 2 minus 18 plus 15 over 2 plus a equals 0. This totals 3 therefore a is minus 3, and that was what we required there. Now b, hence show that the equation f of x equals 0 has only one real root. Now for part B, we can go about this in two different ways. We can use long division, so and then dividing by 2x minus 3. So dividing here first 2x into the 4x cubed, that leaves me 2x squared, and then multiplying, so 4x cubed and multiplying minus 6x squared. And then we take away, or like I like to do is just change the signs and add. Okay, so minus 2x squared there. And then we're dividing, so it's just x minus x. So then multiplying back, so minus 2x squared and plus 3x. Bring our 5x down. And then we're taking away, or like I like to do, change the signs and add. Just find it easier that way. That was how I was taught, so it's kind of just stuck. So 5 take away 3 is 2x. Bring down the minus 3. We get 2x into 2x, so it's just 1. So that gives me 2x minus 3, and taking them away is 0. Okay, we knew it would be a remainder of 0. So our f of x is equal to 2x minus 3 and 2x squared minus x plus 1. And what we want to do is we want to show that this has no solutions. Okay, and we do that with b squared minus 4ac. So it's going to be minus 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times 1. And that's going to give me 1 minus 8, which is minus 7. Okay, therefore no real roots. So only x equals 3 over 2 is real root. So the only real root is that x equals 3 over 2. Okay, and that's it. Now I said there was a second way to do it. There is. This bit will be the same, but I'll redo this bit now. So second way is making 4x cubed minus 8x squared plus 5x and minus 3 equal to 2x minus 3 times by ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, and then we're going to compare. So compare coefficients of x cubed. So on the left here we have 4, and on the right we have 2a, because 2x times ax squared will be 2ax cubed. So 2a, therefore a equals 2. Okay, next we compare coefficients of x squared. On the left we have minus 8. Now on the right we have 2x times bx. That'll give me 2bx squared. So 2b. But also on the right we have minus 3 times ax squared. So that's minus 3a x squared. So minus 3a. But a, we've already got the value for a, and it's 2. So instead of minus 3, that'll be minus 6. Okay, so add 6, we get minus 2 equals 2b, b equals minus 1. And then finally compare constants. Easiest to do for the last one. On the left we've got minus 3, and on the right we've got minus 3 times c, minus 3c, therefore c is equal to 1. Okay, so therefore a is 2, b is minus 1 and c is 1, which is what we had from doing the long division. Okay, so once I got that, set this up and then follow the same final steps. Okay, question 3, circle question. So circle is centre to 5, given that point P, 8 minus 3 lies on C, find the radius. So the radius is going to be distance from the centre to the circumference, which P lies upon. Okay, so we want the distance between 2, 5, so we want distance between 2, 5 and 8 minus 3. So that's the radius. So this is just simply Pythagoras. Difference between them, so 8 minus 2 squared plus minus 3 minus 5 squared, and then square rooted. So 8 minus 2 is 6, 6 squared is 36, minus 3 minus 5 is minus 8, squared is 64, 36 plus 64 is 100, so this is going to be a radius of 10. So that's part 1 for A. Part 2, find the equation. The equation is now quite straightforward. So x minus 2 squared plus y minus 5 squared. That's the coordinates of the centre, and that equals to the radius squared, which will be 10 squared or 100. Now part B. Find the equation of the tangent to C at P, given your answer in the form ax plus by plus c. So there's two ways to, well, one real way to do it, but two ways to find the gradient. So the gradient is what we need first, and we can find it two different ways. So we can find the gradient of the radius, which will be the difference in y's, minus 3 minus 5, over the difference in x's, 8 minus 2, so that's minus 8 over 6, or minus 4/3. And then the tangent is going to be perpendicular to that. So that was gradient of the radius. And we want the perpendicular gradient, so that is 3/4. And then we have the point P, which is 8 minus 3, and then we stick that into y minus y1 equals x minus x1. So that's y minus 3 equals 3/4 x minus 8. So multiply by the 4 here first. So 4y plus 12 equals, and then we're going to do 3 times both of these. 3x minus 24. Take everything to the side the x is positive, which is the right hand side. And we got minus 36. And there we have it, 3x minus 4y minus 36. Now, if you don't notice this about the gradient, find the gradient of the radius and then the tangent, because the circle just roughly like that, isn't it? So find the gradient of the radius and then perpendicular to it is the tangent. So if you didn't notice that, what you could do is you could expand and differentiate, but no, this will be the best way. I was just going to say you could have expanded this, differentiated, and then substituted your x and y values in, but at this point in the course I forgot you haven't done that differentiation, so you wouldn't be able to. Forget it. Right, so this is the only way then for now, unless you're resitting P2. Okay, right, let's get on to the next question. Okay, binomial expansion. So first things first. Right, find the value of a. A is the constant here, with no x's in it, so it's 3 to the power 5. So part A is 3 to the power 5, which is 243. Okay, so there's that bit then. Right, given that b equals 18d, p is less than 0, find the value of p and the value of c. Okay, so b is here bx. So that's going to come from 5c1 times by 3 to the power 1, no, times by c, 3 to the power 4 px to the power 1. Okay, so that's going to be what my b equals. So that's going to be 5 times 3 to the power 4. So that's 405 px. Okay. Now d is over here cubed. So that is 5c3 times by 3 to the power 2 times by px to the power 3. And 5c3 is 10 times by 3 squared is 90 p cubed x cubed. Okay, and b equals 18d, so 405 px equals 18 lots of 90 p cubed x. Hang on a second. It won't be with the x's. because this is up here, this is bx and this is dx cubed. Yeah, so we can take the x out of this and the x cubed out of this. So 18 times 90 is 1620p cubed, 405p. Now dividing by the 405 we get p equals 4p cubed, 4p cubed minus p. Factorising out p we get 4p squared minus 1. So p equals 0, or 4p squared minus 1 equals 0. P squared equals 1/4. P equals plus or minus 1/2. So that is our options. Okay, since p is less than 0, and it can't be equal to 0 and it can't be positive a half, so p equals negative a half. Now find the value of c. So c x squared, that's going to be when it's x squared, so it's c 5c 2 3 to the power 3 px squared. So 5c2 is 10 times 27 p squared x squared. Okay, so c is 270p squared. P squared is 1/4, so it's 270 over 4, or 135 over 2, and that is my value of c. Now logs. Again, usually when you get to logs, there's usually a few ways in doing this. What I like to do in these kind of questions like this is, you can see this log base 2, log to the base 2, log to the base 2, and that's just a constant. I like to make them all the same. So we got log to the base 2 16x plus log to the base 2 x plus 1 equals 3 log to the base 2 of 2, because log 2 base 2 is just 1, isn't it? Plus log 2x plus 6. Now what that means is I can put them together. So these two are adding the logs, means I multiply the brackets here. So that's log to the base 2 of 16x times x plus 1. And this 3 can go up here as a power, 2 cubed, so that's 8. So log to the base 2 of 8 times x plus 6. Okay, so that's 2 cubed, and then I can multiply these two within the log. Now I've got them both as log to the base 2 single logs. That means 16x x plus 1 is equal to 8x plus 6. So 16x squared plus 16x equals 8x plus 48. So 16x plus 8x minus 48 equals 0. And of course we can divide everything by 8 at this point. Alternatively, if I go back a few steps, and here we got 8 and here we got 16, I can divide by 8 straight away. So that gives me 2x, x plus 1 equals x plus 6. So 2x squared plus 2x equals x plus 6. 2x squared plus x plus minus 6 equals 0. Okay, so a little bit easier to do it that way. Now it's going to be a 2x and an x. 2 and 3. This gives me 4x and 3x. So this is plus and minus. Just checking it. 2x squared, 4x minus 3x is 1x. And minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. So there we've got it. Therefore x equals 3 over 2, or x equals minus 2. Now, next little bit is just to check your answers. Now, x equals minus 2 works here, but in here it would give me a negative value, and log of a negative value is impossible, and in here it would give me a negative value. So this is not possible. Therefore x equals 3 over 2 only. Okay, and that's it solved. That's one way of doing it anyway. Okay, question 6. So it's a geometric series. So we're looking at R. Okay, so R is the difference. So we want to do this one divided by this one. And R is also this one divided by this one. Okay, because R is what you multiply this by to get to this, and what you multiply this by to get to this. Okay, so using like the second term divided by the first term and the third term divided by the second term to find R, and then what I do is equate them. So both of these are R equals, which means that this equals this. So therefore k equals 2k minus 15, sorry, over, and k plus 4 over k. So cross multiply like so. Just expand this bracket, so 2k squared minus 15k plus 8k minus 60. So it's 1k squared. Minus 15 plus 8 is minus 7k minus 60. And that was what we were requiring. So that's part A done. Now part B is predict the number of downloads in the 4th month. So first let's work out what k is. So k squared minus 7k minus 60 equals 0. K minus 12, k plus 5. You can get that quite quickly with your calculator. This negative k isn't going to work because it's increasing. Obviously negative value there isn't going to work for R. And then we can work out what R is. R is 12 plus 4 over 12. So 16 over 12. 4/3. Oh, of course. Don't know why I needed my calculator for that. 4/3. Now I can also work out what these ones are. So k plus 4 is 12 plus 4, so that's 16. That's 12. And this one here is 2 12s, 24 minus 15 is 9. So these are, that's the pattern, 9, 12, 16. So we got to do 16 times 4 over 3. Okay, so that's for the 4th month. Sixteen times 4 over 3 is 64 over 3, or 21.3 recurring. Now it's in thousands, so it's 21,300 approximately, or you could put 21,333. Now, part C is the total number of all downloads of the app is predicted to exceed 3 million for the first time in the nth month. Calculate the value of n according to the model. So we've got, let's make a little bit of room first. Okay, so we've got A equals 9, R equals 4/3. So that's A r to the n minus 1 over r minus 1. You can do it the other way around, 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. Usually if r is greater than 1, I do it this way around, and if it's less than 1, I do it the other way around. So 4/3 to, now this is a capital N, that's what we find in. Now that means 4/3 minus 1 is 1/3. 9 divided by 1/3, so that's 27. So rub that out actually, do it on the next line. So 27 4/3 n minus 1. Now, forgot one bit here, so just going back a second. And this is going to exceed 3 million. Now it's in thousands, so 3 million divided by 1,000 is 3,000. Okay, so 3,000 divided by 27. So we get 4/3 to the power n minus 1 greater than 1,000 over 9. Or this could be written as 1009 over 9. Okay, so from here now I can do it in a couple of different ways. I always feel the easiest way is to take logs of both sides, so that's the way I'm going to do it. And then divide by, take the n down, we get n log 4/3 greater than log 1009 over 9, and then divide by my log, so n is greater than log 1009 over 9 divided by log 4/3. I'll rewrite it up here. Now, just a word to the wise at this point. Dividing by a log, you've got to be careful. In this case, it's fine. But if you divide by a log that is less than 1, so between 0 and 1, this value here, then that actual log value is negative. And dividing by a negative value would mean that the inequality sign would flip. It doesn't in this case because 4/3 is greater than 1, but you do need to be careful, as you may have a value between 0 and 1 in your exam. So now I've got to do, now log, it can be any log when we write it like this, as long as it's the same base. I usually do base 10, you can do base E as well, it doesn't really matter. Log. And that gives me 16.405. So n equals 17. Okay, and that's all there is to it for part C. It is a little bit of work, but this kind of question is quite common. Okay, same steps, same process, almost every single time. The only times you have to be careful is when you're dividing by this log, if this value is between 0 and 1, because it means this log is negative, and dividing by a negative value would change the inequality sign. So you do have to be careful with that, but like I said, in this question it wasn't a problem. Okay, so this question, start off with A, use calculus to show alpha satisfies this equation. Right, let's start off with H and let's expand the brackets. So t to the power half over 20 times 20 would just be t to the power half. Plus, now 6 divided by 20 is 3/10. T to the half times by t to the 1 would be t to the 3/2 minus, and t to the half times by t squared will be t to the 5/2, and that's 1 divided by 20, so 1/20 plus 17. Now, t equals alpha is a stationary value. So if I want to substitute alpha into here, I need to find it at the stationary point. So that's going to be differentiating. So dh by dt is half t to the minus a half plus 3/2 times 3/10 t to the half minus 5/2 times 1/20 t to the 3/2, and the 17 will disappear. So it's half t to the minus a half, 3 3's are 9, so 9/20 t to the half minus 5 cancels with 24, so it's minus 1/8 t to the 3/2. Now, when t equals alpha, dh by dt equals 0. So that means 0 equals a half alpha to the minus a half plus 9/20 alpha to the half minus 1/8 alpha to the 3 over 2. Now we've got a little bit of tidying up to do here. So this a to the minus half would be like on the bottom. So if I multiply through by a to the minus a half, so I'm multiplying through by a, sorry, to the positive a half. So that's a half, and a to the minus a half times a to the positive half would be just 1. Plus 9 over 20, a to the half times a to the half is a to the 1, minus 1 over 8, and alpha to, sorry, not a, alpha, isn't it? Alpha to the 3 over 2 times alpha to the half is alpha squared. Now all I need to do is, well, multiply through by a number that gets rid of all the bottom ones. So a number that goes into 2, 20 and 8. So if I multiply by 16, 24, 40, that goes into all of them. So multiply by 40, we get 20 plus 18a minus 5, sorry, not a, alpha squared, and then take it over to the other side. So 5 alpha squared minus 18 alpha minus 20 equals 0, and that is what we required there. Okay, now part B, hence find the value of alpha 3 decimal places. So it's just solving that, and the fact it's saying to 3 decimal places means that it isn't going to factorize. So plus or minus, oh, sorry, minus b, so minus 18 plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So it's 36 plus or minus, now 80 minus 18 squared is 324 plus 4 times 5 times 20, so 724 over 10. Oh, don't know why I wrote 36 there. That's just 18. And this is 18 plus or minus 2 root 181 over 10. 2 goes into both of those, so it's 9 plus or minus root 181 over 5. And it's the 3 decimal places. So it's 4.49. 1. Obviously using the positive value there because it's the height of a river above a fixed point on the river bed. Okay, so it's got to be positive. Now part C says use further calculus to prove h is a maximum at this value. So all we need to do now is differentiate again. So d2h over dt squared. And there we have it. So minus a quarter t to the minus 3 over 2 plus 9 over 40 t to the minus a half minus 3 over 16 t to the half. And then stick in my value of alpha in, so when t equals 4.491, d2h by dt squared equals, and at this point, you know, when you had this answer, if you used the store function, so like store as a, then you can just retype this in your calculator, replacing t with the letter a, and then hit equals. So it just, you know, does it a little bit easier for you. So this is minus 0.317, which is less than 0, therefore max. Okay, question 8. Prove by counterexample this is not true. So prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 and so on. Never a multiple of 10, so 2 and 3 ain't gonna work because that's 4 and 9. 3 and 5 is 9 plus 25. No. 5 and 7. 25 plus 49. No. 7 and 11. There we are. So 7 squared plus 11 squared equals 170, which is a multiple of 10. Therefore, statement is not true. Right, brilliant. That's the first one done. Easy marks. Given that x and y are even integers, greater than 0 and less than 6, prove by exhaustion that this happens. Okay. Now, don't think you have to, but let's get rid of the fraction. Like so. And then let's set up a table. So x, y. So we're going to say, given that x and y are even integers, greater than 0 and less than 6. So that's just 2 or 4, isn't it? Because it doesn't say less than or equal to 6. It's just 2 and 4. So we've got to do by exhaustion, so we've got to do every type. So when they're both 2, when it's 2, 4, 4, 2, and 4, 4. So those are the values we've got to check. And this will be 4x squared minus xy. So that's the table I've got to check. So now it's just a matter of putting these values in. So 4x squared, so 4 times 2 squared minus 2 times 2. So this is 12. 4 times 2 squared minus 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 4 squared minus 4 times 2. This is 56. 4 times 4 squared minus 4 times 4. That's 48. So all of those values are between 4 and 60. Therefore, the original one is true. So, you know, all values between 4 and 60. So 1 x squared minus x over 4, 15 is true. And that's it, job done. Any kind of conclusion at the end there would be, you know, fine. Okay, question 9. Show that this may equal this. Now this only has cos in it, this has sine and tan in it, so we need to change these. So 3 cos theta brackets. Now tan is sine theta over cos theta times sine theta plus 3 equals 11 minus 5 cos theta. Okay, so this is 3 cos theta. Now, this times by sine squared over cos theta. Sine squared theta over cos theta. And the cos thetas will obviously cancel there. Plus 9 cos theta. From this multiplying together. Now sine squared, so since sine squared theta plus cos squared theta equals 1, sine squared is equal to 1 minus cos squared, so that's 3, 1 minus cos squared theta plus 9 cos theta equals 11 minus 5 cos theta. So it's 3 minus 3 cos squared theta plus 9 cos theta equals 11 minus 5 cos theta. Now taking everything onto the right hand side, we get 3 cos squared theta minus 9, so minus 9 and minus 5 is minus 14 cos theta, and 11 minus 3 is plus 8. And then that is that. Now for part, that was part A. For part B is hence when x is between 0 and 360, solve that equation. So that equation is just our equation here. So 3 cos theta and cos theta, 2 and 4. Let's check. 12. So both minus. So that means that cos theta equals 2/3 and cos theta equals 4. So this one, the cos theta equals 4 can't happen. So we're just looking at cos theta equals 2/3. Now, the question actually had 2x in it, didn't it? So this is actually cos of 2x equals 2/3. Okay, and that's something that we've got to keep in mind. Okay, now I'm going to use the cos theta equals 2/3, but the cos 2x is what I'm going to come back to. Okay, because theta equals to 2x. So when I'm doing my cos theta equals 2/3, I've also got to look at my range. So x is between 0 and 360. That means that 2x is between 0 and 720, and 2x is equal to theta. So theta's between 0 and 720. Okay. So cos theta equals 2/3, theta equals 48.2 degrees. And then cast rule, cos theta is positive, so it's here and here. So starting at 0, we've got 48.2, so in the first quadrant. And we come round into the third quadrant, so it's 360 minus 48.2, which is 311.8. And then it's going to be 360 plus 48.2. Which is 408.2. And then finally 720 minus 48.2, that's 671.8. Now I like to store these values into my calculator so that I can work out my x at the end. So x is going to be half of each of these values. Okay. So it's 24.1. $155.9, 204.1, and 335.9. Okay, I like to keep the full answer in my calculator so that when I'm doing these divisions I'm not like a little bit off. In this case, it doesn't look like it would have made any difference if I was halving the rounded values compared to halving the full values in the calculator. Okay, but that's it. That's all there is to it. But it's just far easier when you've got like, you know, a 2x, just to leave it in terms of like something simple. So change it to theta and change your limits. Okay, and then work your way backwards. That way then you'll never miss an answer. Okay, biggest mistake I see people make would be to get 2x equals 48.2 and then divide by 2, so 24.1, so you get the first answer right, but then you put it into your cast diagram and you get the subsequent answers wrong. Okay, so this is the better way to do it. I'll tell you what, in papers these days they don't half throw in some awkward looking questions. Not difficult, just really awkward, you know. So this expands to x squared minus 2kx plus k squared over x to the half. So that means that y equals now 2 divided by half, so x to the 3 over 2 minus 2kx to the half plus k squared x to the minus a half. And that is what we're going to integrate. So x to the 5 over 2 divide by 5 over 2, so it's times by 2/5 minus kx to the 3 over 2 divide by 3 over 2, so it's times by 2 over 3, so that's 4 over 3. And k to the half divided by half, so it's times by 2k squared. And that's between 16 and 1. Okay, so substituting 16 into each of these. So that is 2048 over 5 minus 256 over 3 k plus 8k squared minus that's 2/5 minus 4 over 3 times 2 k plus 2k squared. So that's 2046 over 5 minus 256 over 3 minus, so it's plus 4, so it's minus 252 over 3. 8 minus 2 is 6. Oh, that's k. And that is 2046 over 5. This is 84k plus 6k squared. So putting it in the form of here, so 2046 over 5, we got a k squared plus b k, so a equals 6, b equals negative 84. Okay, and that's part A done. Okay, part B. So we got y equals x minus k squared over root x. We got the point 19. So that's 9 equals 1 minus k squared over 1. And there we are. So square root, we get plus or minus 3, 1 minus k. K equals 1. So it's 1 minus 3 and 1 plus 3. So minus 2 and 4. Since k is positive, as it says up here, k equals 4. So part C now, we can work out the equation of the curve. It's x minus 4 squared over root x. And then we can find out what point B is. So x equals 16, y equals q. So q equals 16 minus 4 squared over square root of 16. So 16 minus 4 is 12. Squared is 144 over 4. So q is 36. So b is 1636. So we know that this is 19 and 1636. Okay, and we've already got this from part A, wasn't it? So that's the area under the curve. So it's this area here. So this area of this trapezium minus the area there will give me this shaded area here. So I've got a trapezium. Goes from 1, 9, so it's 9 high, and this is 1636, so it's 36 high, and 1 minus 16, that's 15. Okay, so this is what we've got. Trapezium. So area of the trapezium is A plus B, so 9 plus 36 divided by 2 times by 15. That's 337.5. Now area under curve is 6k squared minus 84k plus 2046 over 5, and k is 4, isn't it? And that is 169.2. So our region R, or area R, is 337.5 minus 169.2, which is 168.3. And there we have it. So not too difficult a question. Some awkward numbers and letters to deal with in this question, but not too difficult. Right, let's get on to the last question. Okay, part A. So we know U1 equals 3. We want to find U2 and U3. So U2, so going from this one, U2 would be B minus A U1. So B minus A times U1, which is B minus 3A. And U3 will be B minus A U2. So that's B minus AB plus 3A squared. Okay, so we've got a sum here. It's just between 1 and 3. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. So if we add these 3 up, it equals 153. So that's my first bit. So for part B, 3 plus B minus 3A plus B minus AB plus 3A squared, and that equals 153. And also B equals A plus 9. And we've got to show this. There's only A's in it, no B's, so we're just going to substitute this into this. But this first I will simplify. Okay, so let's see. 3A squared minus 3A. B and B is 2B minus AB, and then take away the 153, so minus 15 from 150. Now let's substitute in the b equals a plus 9. So 3a squared minus 3a plus 2 lots of a plus 9 minus a lots of a plus 9 minus 150. So 3a squared minus 3a plus 2a plus 18 minus a squared minus 9a minus 150 equals 0. So this is 2a squared now. Minus 3a plus 2a is minus a. Minus 9a, so it's minus 10a. And then minus 150 plus 18 is minus 132. And then we can divide by 2 and we get a squared minus 5a minus 66. And that is what we had to find. Hence find the larger possible value of u2. So first we need to solve this for a. It's a and a, 11 and 6 minus 11 plus 6. Therefore a equals 11 or a equals negative 6 there. So those are my two answers, and now I'm going to substitute those into u2. So u2 equals b minus 3a, and b was a plus 9. So a plus 9 minus 3a, so 9 minus 2a. Now to get the largest value, because this is negative, the negative 6 will give me the largest value. So let a equals minus 6 and u2 equals 9 minus 2 times minus 6. And that equals 21. And there you have it. Quite an easy finish, I think, in the end. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And follow, come back to the channel soon. I'm going to be doing quite a few past papers in the lead up to the January exams.